Hey, so what we're going to be doing today is just do the initial power up just to make sure that the power supply works and stuff like that. I've kind of taken out and gone through some of the boards, and I'm missing a couple of things, some terminators. One big thing is like the bus terminator, like if you're familiar with SCSI, you kind of have to have a terminator at the end of the chain. Well, it's the same thing with this bus out.
Okay, well, we just got the door on the front of it. Getting this door to line up with some pegs inside the frame there was a little not as easy as one might think it would be. Now, I'm sure we don't have the proper circuit for this, but since there's going to be a small load and there's no hard drives in here, it should be okay. But John's about to put power to it for the very first time, so if there's any magic smoke, we'll get it here. Are you ready, John?
Yes.
Are you scared? A little nervous?
No.
All right. Hang on, let me get around where I can get a better angle. The old light is flickering, which is pretty standard for that type of illuminator this day and age. So, John's about to fire it up now. Satisfying relay click. Well, that was underwhelming. To check these outlets individually, I've suggested that we plug in a lamp so we can see if power is actually getting to the plugs on the other side of here. Okay, that outlet works. Testing the second outlet. That works. One more to go. And here goes number 3. Okay, so we have power all the way out through that. I don't know if you would call that a PDU or what you'd call it, but it works. Gonna test these other outlets back here to see if power's making it that far. Nope. So whatever that connects to is not getting electricity either. You know, the inside of this actually reminds me, I don't know why, but a much grander Texas Instruments peripheral expansion box. The something about it just reminds me of the PEB, just, you know, on a much, much grander scale, of course.
I'm ready.
What'd you do?
I found an extra little short power cord that was not plugged in, so I'm thinking that may be what's causing the issues.
So we're hoping we don't have a Clark W. Griswold type incident here, but we'll see.
Engage.
Do you hear a transformer buzzing? Yep. Do it again. There's definitely a transformer or some kind of power supply component buzzing in there.
Wait, are these still on or off? Aha. No, we're on. Oh well.
But something's buzzing in there, dude.
Yeah. I don't want to be looking around too much stuff in there, but.
No, not while there's power in there. And
I'm
again,
not sure about it. Oh.
we do not pretend to have the slightest idea of what we're doing here. We're learning as we go.
Yeah.
I think we are sending out an SOS to Dave Plummer. What, did you find something?
Maybe. Could you, is it unplugged?
So this wasn't in, of course, because until there's power, we know the power is good. We don't want to blow anything, but this is the
4 megabyte RAM card.
4 megabytes.
So it's maxed out.
Man, look at all those beautiful chips. Man, it just looks so freaking cool.
Yeah. This is a computer and expansion box that I picked up from the same person that we got the PDP-11 from. This is a Southwest Technical Products 6800, which is the 6800 as the refers to the Motorola CPU that it has. So I think it's like an earlier version of like the 68,000, like in the later Macs and stuff. I'm not sure though on that. It's got 16 kilobytes of RAM and a little serial I/O card that's for like hooking up your terminal to it.
Or like Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch, yes. And then it's got on the expansion box, it's got a floppy disk controller, and then a parallel port. So I don't know if it's just like if it's a Centronics parallel type port for a printer, or if it's just like a I/O parallel port or whatever for like just general. And we're gonna power up to see if they'll come on. I figured it was like the 88, the Intel. Well, that was the earlier version.
Yeah, the father or the grandfather.
Yeah.
All right. So again, we are in completely uncharted territory. We have no experience with this type of equipment, but we wish to learn, so let's have at it. We are unclear about the power buttons on this one, so we're gonna plug it in and then mess with the buttons. No smoke?
No smoke. No smoke and a red light.
There is a red light though?
Mm-hmm, illuminated. So it is getting power and there's no smoke.
Okay, so now what? You going to operate the buttons? Is that a reset?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's just simply power.
Maybe it's on.
So now we need to hook it up to a terminal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a USB to serial port and we can put putty on one of your computers or something?
Not the, yes, but,
We don't know if this is a standard, serial port, but even if it is, we don't have a gender changer to connect to it to allow us to go to a 25 to 9 pin, which would then allow us to go to the USB to serial. So, but the main goal was accomplished, and that's just to see if something actually works. And in this case, we have more life than we did in the PDP-84. So, you want to hook up the expansion box too, see what it does?
Yes, and at least this one has a fan, so I give it a little something.
Yep, that's its biggest fan. You ready?
I am.
Engage. Oh, magic smoke. It doesn't look like it blew the fuse. It could have, but
It looked like it come from the top too, didn't it?
we're thinking if this is really a expansion box or if it's something more than that. Because we don't know anything about SWTPC.
Do you have any?
We know nothing about all this stuff. But we do know that it hails from the 1970s. I think probably the mid-1970s. I didn't come around until January of 1981. But this is fun going back into the vintage world of this, a new facet of vintage computing for us because, you know, the 8 and 16-bit micros, we're familiar with those, growing up with them, but very little to no experience. I say no experience with these. And yet there's still cool stuff to be done with them. Okay, so this is a Unisys PC. Now I'm kind of jealous that John got this because this Unisys and Sperry represent a name back from when I was a little kid that when adults would take me under their wing and show me computer stuff, you know, the Unisys and Sperry came up a bit because we have a Unisys office in Montgomery, Alabama, probably because we have Maxwell Air Force Base and the Gunner Annex. So we're going to take a look at this Unisys PC real quick and see what's inside of it, and probably put power to it too. Why not?
Bad to the bone, I hope is what I mean.
Yeah, we're hoping that that means bad to the bone, but what a variety of ports on here. So get the case off of it and explore further. Okay, so this is a 386. It's a 386 DX25. The copyright date is 85. We've got this 3.5-inch hard drive in here, and then we've got a half-height hard drive. I'm guessing that they're going to be SCSIs. I haven't looked to verify that yet. And then, of course, the venerable 5.25-inch, obviously high-density disk drive. That's quite a lot of SIM slots, 30-pin SIM slots. Man, this thing is cool.
So I learned this from Adrian's Digital Basement. He does a lot of computer repairs. You can look on these chips and there's like a date codes and stuff, like it says like 7735, which would be like the 35th week of 1975. And so that's what I was trying to look on this one and try to get a rough, kind of get a date of when this was made. It says 9128. Yes, maybe that's.
And what the WDC one?
Oh yeah, that one says the 9122.
Okay.
I think.
So yeah, that's right really when I was beginning to learn about industry standard architecture, and I was still using my, I think my Coco 2, about to, upgrade to an Amstrad that was a hand-me-down from my grandfather, an Amstrad PC-1512. But yes, this is when I was really beginning to get super duper interested in computers and, well, in building computers anyway. I was always super interested in computers. All right, it says it's bad. That could mean a bad hard drive. It could mean a bad power supply. Who knows? Let's hook it up and see. Oh yeah, definitely SCSI. Definitely SCSI hard drives. All right, plug in, turn on, tune in, and drop out, or something like that. The light's dimmed when you turned it on, so there's some kind of...
I didn't hear the power supply do anything. The fan didn't even come on, so it's maybe that, or maybe it's...
It could just be a bad power supply. That might be what's wrong with this whole system. You don't have any spare power supplies, do you?
I got one. We can not out. We can take one out of the.
I mean, this might not be an industry standard power supply, but if the power hookups are the same, then if it's just an AT class power supply, we could rig something up.
That's what it looks like. See which.
All right, let's have a look. Yeah, that's AT. So if we can find another AT power supply, we can, hook it up that way. We don't even need to worry about the drives yet, just to see if the motherboard is functioning logically. So we're going to borrow the power supply from this computer here, which is another one we need to test also. Yeah, these motherboards. Oh, this brings back such memories. Good times. So I guess we also don't know if this power supply works or not either, but I guess we're about to find out. Let's just plug this one in to test it where it sits. I've built many a computers in these cases. Do the honors? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is video card, 3 is RAM. But that means that logically this computer works. It at least likes the memory enough to do a test like that. But the power supply works, which is what we need for this particular instance. So let's borrow that power supply. Yay! One that shows good signs of life. And by the way, this one is an AMD 386 SX33 as compared to the Intel DX25. It's bad, bad to the bone. With much profanity and an achy back, I got it connected in this precarious manner here. So let's plug it in and see what it does.
Yep.
All right, fire it up. Oh.
Cool. Fire, 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 fire.
Power supplies, I smell the magic smoke, but it's...
I think it may be this card may have been touching it. I don't know.
What's that, like 6 megs of RAM? Okay, let's unplug it while we're ahead. So,
Right there.
So it's likely one of these tantalum caps. Is that one bust open?
Right here, yeah, it's this one
Yep.
right here.
Stupid tantalum capacitors. What card is this? It's from 1989. I don't think it's SCSI. I think the SCSI's built onto the motherboard. Hell, I don't know. I'll determine it in a second. When I can actually see, besides in a camera. Not sure what this is yet because the SCSI controller is actually built onto this motherboard. But, okay, so John has this fancy pants coffee maker too. All right, fire it up. It grinds the beans. And then it makes coffee. So I'll top off my cup there. I think we've blown up enough stuff for today, but I was looking at, you know, it just makes me so sad to think there are some people who would buy a house and, you know, probably more women than men, who would put things like towels and laundry detergent and, you know, things like that in here. And that's not what it's for. That's not what it's for at all.
No.
You know, these are network closets. We don't need those quality of life enhancements and stuff. I'm just kidding, of course.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for the day.
Sign off.
Turn the camera off.
Right.